Hey Hylians and happy Halloween! The Legend of Zelda series is full of creepy monsters, many of which come back many times within the series. But today I want to focus on just one of these monsters for today's video, an enemy which has existed since the very first Legend of Zelda game, Gohma. As I said before, Gohma first appeared in the very first Legend of Zelda game, all the way back on the NES, and has turned up many times since. While she has had many differing looks throughout the series, sometimes turning up as a crab or centipede-like creature, she is most recognised as a giant spider. And giant spiders are no stranger to video games, and definitely not the Legend of Zelda series, as along with Gohma herself, we also have creatures like the Skulltulas. Out of all the games that Gohma has appeared in, I think my favourite design for the monster has always been the one from Twilight Princess. Out of all the versions of Gohma in the series, this one definitely looks the most realistic, which always made her look the most creepy to me. The way Gohma climbs and crawls her way around the battlefield is really uncomfortable to watch at times. The battle starts with you having to look around the ceiling trying to find this giant spider, which really isn't all that hard to do, so you can shoot the eye on her back with your bow and arrow. When the spider falls to the ground, you would use your newly acquired Dominion Rod to take control of the statues throughout the room to crush this giant spider. You would do this enough times and then the fight is over, right? No. Surprisingly, once the victory music starts, it's quickly cut off as we now have to fight the Eye, which itself is a tiny spider. This part of the battle is one of those strange Zelda moments, as you have to attack this tiny spider surrounded by even tinier spiders to finish off the battle. I really enjoy this fight, and while it may be simple, it's one of my favourites in this game. But something always seemed a little strange once finishing it. Why was the eye of this giant spider a spider itself all along? What if, all along, Armogohma was nothing more than an armoured shell, controlled by this teeny tiny spider? It may sound strange, a little unbelievable, and even silly, but there is a handful of things pointing towards this maybe being the case. First off, the name, Armogohma. This can be split into Armo and Gohma. The Armo sounds a lot like Armor or even Armos, an enemy found within the Temple of Time in this game, the same temple that Armogohma is the boss of. This little bit added onto Gohma may be pointing to the fact that this giant spider is nothing more than a very large suit of armour for this tiny spider to wear. Along with the name, I always thought that the legs and body of this boss looked like they could be made of stone or rock. The legs and body are a grey colour with dark markings on them which look very similar to the markings and patterns on the stone statues in the battle arena and other stone structures in this temple. Also, comparing Armogohma to the young Gohmas seen in this temple, they look very different from one another, as the young Gohmas seem to have a look which looks a lot more like Gohma from Ocarina of Time. So this spider controlling the armour may not even be a Gohma spider, and may have simply been given this name by those who knew of the Great Spider Queen. These things, along with the fact that at the end of the battle the giant spider disappears leaving only the eye, makes it seem that this is all what's left now the armour has been destroyed. With all this though, if this is some sort of armour for this tiny monster, why make it? And who made it? Many people over the years have come to believe that the Temple of Time in Twilight Princess is really the Temple of Light, because of all the markings in the temple showing the Medallion of Light from Ocarina of Time. I too believe that this could be the case, and with this, maybe the armour was made by someone like Rauru, the Sage of Light. Perhaps he made it for the creature so it could protect the temple and anything hidden within. In this temple we do find the Dominion Rod, something which is said to be very important and strong. There is also the piece of the Mirror of Twilight found within this dungeon, which could have been being protected by this monster so no one could take it and do wrong with it. Though this is a little fuzzy, as it seems that the mirror hadn't been broken long before the events of this game. Another idea could be that this armor was made by Zant, and he made this monster to try and keep the Mirror of Twilight out of the hands of Link, who he knew would be on his way to try and find them. This would not be the first time we had seen Zant do something like this, as not long before we had seen him bring back Star-Lord from the dead to fight Link, so something like this does not seem out of his power. If we go down this path, the armor could have been trapping this little spider, or maybe once being placed within the armor it started to corrupt the little creature, with magic similar to that of the Mirror of Twilight, or even the piece of the mirror found in this temple itself. We do see Yetta from Snow Peak Ruins corrupted by the mirror. Maybe something similar is happening here. Once the armor is destroyed and the little spider is let out, the intent to kill and stop you pushed onto it by the armor is gone. And so this is why it runs from you, no longer wishing to hurt you and now being scared of you. Armogohma is a very cool boss with a very strange twist, and no matter what the story behind this monster may be, it is definitely a very creepy monster to fight within the Temple of Time. I've been wanting to make a video for Halloween this year, but was struggling a lot on the topic, when I suddenly had this idea for Armogohma pop into my head and I thought it would be perfect for Halloween, as so many people find spiders really creepy and I haven't talked about Twilight Princess for a very long time now. I seem to like making videos on bosses from this game, so if you're interested in another video I made on this game, I'll leave a link to my Death Sword video somewhere for you to go check out, though it is pretty old. But what do you think about Armogohma? Do you see it as a suit of armor being worn by this tiny spider, or is it all the same monster? Whatever you think, please tell me in the comments below, as I always love reading your thoughts. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, why not subscribe for even more Zelda related videos. Thank you all for watching, I hope you have a happy Halloween, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!